Was he deformed?
He had this baby doll toy, so he used it as a mask.
I go back to like being a child when you kind of like, you've got such a vivid imagination. I mean, I even have it now. Like I double lock the door twice when you're walking down a dark alley on your own. You kind of envisage things in your head of what could be. That's like the things that you imagine in your head coming to life.
Well, you get in there and they wire you down and it takes like 45 minutes. I'm in a wheelchair, barbed wired, and then they can't get you out. So on breaks, you're sitting there. By the time they yell action, you're so already in that moment as a human being that you just naturally react into that situation.
It's really funny because I don't know how I could relate to this character, but I somehow did. Because I had a beautiful upbringing as a child. But for some reason I could see how if your father, you loved him so much and he's manipulated her to think that all this is normal behaviour. I kind of understood how she could be so in love with him that she'll do anything she has to do to please her dad.
Part of what I loved about it was like the beginning of horror movies is always like the kind of like everything's normal, everything's fine. And then my favourite part of the movie is the third act, just because everybody gets to really pump it up.
I think that's what attracted all of us onto it, because we all get offered that same stuff over and over, where it's like I would be chasing my girlfriend and like my funny friend dies. Like it's all the same. And then in this one, you're reading the script and you're like, oh, it's kind of all right. And then at like even the second act, once it kicks in, you're like, oh, we all have different characters. Like my character doesn't give a shit about the girls. It's like he just wants this, like he would run to the noise. And you know, in horrors, you're like, why are you going in the house? Well, my character really would go in the house.
One thing that I love about horror movies is like you get to go to those extremes.
Mister!